We went through the Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika. Then we went into A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Then we went into Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Then we understood that after that, the thing that makes the salat valid is the Fatiha. Okay, the thing that makes the salat valid is the Fatiha. Inshallah, we're not going to go through the Fatiha right now. We're going to go through that in the second part of the class, which is the Arabic class. All right, we went past the Fatiha, and we learned that after the Fatiha, we can recite something short from the Quran if we wish to. This is the Sunnah. We learned that the recitation of the Imam is sufficient for the people. Now, in the silent salat, you must recite the Fatiha to yourself. But in the loud prayers, when the Imam recites the Fatiha, you don't have to recite the Fatiha. Okay? So we say, Allahu Akbar. Where are my hands? Where are my arms?
Right over left.
Right over left. Where should they be? On the chest. Is it different for the men and the women, or is it the same?
The same.
The same. Okay? Where do I have my eyes?
In the Qibla.
In the place of prostration. Do I look to and fro?
No.
Do I look in the sky?
No.
Do I look at the flies?
No.
Okay. You stay in khasha'ah, which is in
Humble.
in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Humbleness. Okay? Now after I say the Fatiha, after I do a dua, now I'm going into the next position. The next position is called what?
Rukuu.
Rukuu. Rukuu means bowing. Okay? Now when I go into the rukuu, I say Allahu Akbar and I raise my hands the same way that I raise my hands in the opening takbir. So the raising of the hands, when going into the next position, which is the rukuu, Allahu Akbar, okay, we learn that this is mutawatir. This is a well-known hadith. It's related by more than 10 sahabas, so it's something that was done. Okay? If you leave out the raising of the hands, you are missing some of the benefits or the barakas of the salat. Right? The whole emphasis of making the salat is praying as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed. Okay? We want to try to do it as best as possible. So we raise the hands, Allahu Akbar, and the hands are on the knees, spread, the palms on the knees with the fingers spread, the elbows are out. When he made rukuu, he would spread his back and make it level, such that if water were poured on it, the water would stay there, i.e. it would not run off. He also said to the one who prayed badly, when you make rukuu, put your palms on your knees, spread your back flat, and hold firm in your rukuu. So when you make Allahu Akbar, your hands are on your palms, the fingers are spread, your arms are out, it's said to the point that you can see his armpits, okay? And his back would be straight, parallel to the ground, to the point that if you put a cup on top of his back, it wouldn't fall. So, not too high, not too low, but it should be parallel to the ground. Your eyes should still be facing towards the place of prostration, and your elbows out as much as you can. You know, sometimes you got people next to you, you can't spread them out as much as possible. Don't try to be greedy and make them out there when some of the sisters are next to you or the brothers. Try to be considerate. He used to be at ease in the rukuu and ordered the one who prayed badly to do so, as has been mentioned in the aforementioned hadith. Also, we learned that to hold the position of rukuu, this is another means of being forgiven of all of your sins. The Prophet Muhammad also said when the Imam says Abdul-Walee, you say what?
Ameen.
Ameen. And if your Ameen coincides with the angels, then all of your sins will be forgiven. Inshallah. Another hadith, when the Imam says, Sami Allahu liman hamida, you say, Rabbana lakal hamd, and the Prophet Muhammad said, the one who says, Rabbana lakal hamd, and your Rabbana lakal hamd coincides with the angels, all of your sins will be forgiven. Also in another hadith, he said that when you hold your positions, your rukus, you know you're coming up, your sajdas, you know you relax your body, even in the qiyam, and even in the sajda when we get into it, that this is also a means of being forgiven of all your sins. So master your salat, take your time in your salat, don't rush. He said that when you go into an ease and hold that position until your bones lock. He saw a man praying and not completing his rukuu properly. So the Prophet Muhammad saw a man who was praying, but his rukuu was not proper, or he didn't hold it long enough. And pecking in his sajda, and he was going up and down in his sajda, which we're going to get into in a minute. So he said, were this man to die in this state, he would die on a faith other than that of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, pecking in his prayers as a crow pecks at blood. He who does not make ruku completely and pecks in his sajda is like the hungry person who eats 1 or 2 dates, which are of no use to him at all. So the one who doesn't take his time in his ruku, right, hold his position. We know some brothers, Allahu Akbar, that's not holding your position. Allahu Akbar, make sure your feet are right, make sure your back is right, make sure your arms are right, make sure your back is straight. Then you start your supplication, which we're going to get into next. So who knows what you say in the ruku position? What do you say?
Subhanallah al-Azim 3 times.
Okay. And we have the hadith. He would say different types of remembrance of Allah and supplications in the ruku, but we'll go over the easiest one. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. This is what we say in the ruku. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. Glory be to my Lord, the most great, Azim. And it's not Azim, it's Azim. Azim. Right? Azim. Right? Azim. Azim. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. Subhana Rabbiyal. This is a ya. Yal. Azim. And we say this 3 times. Okay? You can say it more than 3 times, but the rule is to, inshallah, say it an odd number. It also states that sometimes he would say it more, but the sunnah is to say at least an odd number. Even if you say 1, that would be sufficient. Okay? As long as you in this position, in the ruku position, the sunnah is that you supplicate Allah. Subhana, Subhana Rabbil Azim, Subhana Rabbil, but this is the sunnah. This is the bare minimum. You can say it 99 times. You can say it 7 times. Also in this position, you can ask for whatever it is that you want to ask for. In the ruku position, as well as in the sajda position, it is haram, it is forbidden to recite the Quran. So if you're in this position, you can't recite the Quran. You can only make dua, only make supplication. And I'll read the hadith. The forbiddance of reciting the Quran in ruku. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to forbid recitation of the Quran in the ruku and in the sajda. This is related by Sahih Muslim. Further, he used to say, verily I have indeed been forbidden from reciting the Quran in the ruku or sajda. In the ruku, therefore glorify your Lord, and in the sajda, exert yourself in supplication in it, for it is most likely that you will be answered. We'll get to that in a minute when we get to the sajda. But in the ruku position, which is the bowing position, and in the sajda position, which is the prostration position, it is forbidden to recite Quran. So you can't say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. You can't recite Quran. You can do other than that. You can make dua, you can supplicate. Okay, in this position. So we say Subhana, everybody repeat after me. Subhana. Repeat after me. After me. I'm going to do one at a time to make sure you guys have the proper recitation, correct recitation of it. Subhana.
Subhana
Rabbiyal Azim.
Azim.
Subhana Rabbiyal Azim.
Azim.
Subhana Rabbiyal
Rabbiyal
Azim.
Azim.
The women. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. The men. Subhana
Subhana
Rabbiyal
Rabbiyal
Azim.
Azim.
Man, they sound like they got more spunk than y'all. The women. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. The men. Subhana
Subhana
Rabbiyal
Rabbiyal
Azim.
Azim.
Okay, now this is 3 times. This is the Rukuu position. He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, used to make his Rukuu, his standing after Rukuu, his sajda, and his sitting in between the sajdas nearly equal in length. Okay, so this position, however long he stayed in here, Subhana Rabbil Azim, when he came up from the Rukuu, his standing after that, and his sajda, which is the bowing, he said that he would make all of these equal in length. So when you have someone say, Sami Allah, when he went Hamidah, Rabbana wa lakal hamd, and he stands there for a minute, this is the sunnah. To say, Sami Allah, Allahu Akbar, that's not the sunnah. That's not the sunnah. Okay? So we're learning to pray as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed, by the authentic hadith, not by our madhab, not by what we were taught, but by the authentic hadith. Okay?